Good morning. Just gonna adjust my mat, I think, here. Happy sunshine. I think we're finally, hi Christina. I think we're finally making the shift into summertime or spring, a little bit of warmth in the spring that we never really had. So I didn't say that we needed any props this morning, but hi Kim. So whatever you, yay, I'm excited you're here too, Christina. Okay, so I didn't say props that we need, but there will be a point where we're sitting with the legs wide. So sometimes it's nice to have the hips a little bit elevated. So if you know that you like that, then grab an extra cushion. We're gonna start in constructive resting. So if you feel like when you come down to your back, you want a little extra cushion, then do that. I'm just gonna give this a little swipe here. How do I do that? Okay, cool. Okay, so yes, come down to your mat or your floor, your space, and come into constructive resting. So down onto your back, knees bent, feet planted. Take a moment, maybe move through the pelvis a little or find some space between the shoulder blades. Allow the hands to rest anywhere that's most comfortable. Find a supported place and distance between the feet so that the knees feel as though they are just like nicely relaxed above the hips. There's not a lot of effort to hold the legs here. And then always a nice idea to just lift the head, tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck a little bit. Maybe closing the eyes and just allowing gravity to draw you down onto your space. Just feeling the imprint the back side of the body makes against your mat or the floor. Just noticing those points of contact. Maybe just a little bit of waving the head from side to side on the bony structure at the back, the occipital ridge. And then allowing that to relax. Take a full breath into the chest and upper back. And allow your exhale to be that invitation for the shoulders to soften, the arms to fall a little heavier, and the hands and palms to relax. Noticing your breath as it moves down into the rib cage and the belly. Notice the weight of your pelvis, and could you identify if it feels a little more weighted on the right or the left? You notice any sort of residual holding or activation through the hips, the pelvic floor. Can you deepen the breath down into the pelvis? Feel expansion there. And the exhale softly releases. And noticing weight of the feet. They feel heavier in the heels or the outer edges, or the toes. And does one side feel heavier? Does one foot fall or land, imprint heavier into the mat? Just a few more breaths here, really drawing your attention inward. Taking a little scan through the body. And if your arms are not already down at your side, just bring them down to your side, palms facing up. Just going to do a little bit of breathing and moving through the upper region here. So inhale the arms up towards the sky, up all the way overhead, and then down your side, like you were making snow angels here, or maybe angels in the sand. Just allow your inhale to lift the arms up overhead, and then exhale as the arms come down at your side. Just play around with this with the direction of your hands. So palms up or palms down towards the floor, up towards the sky, or down towards the sky. Just going to move them around a little. See if you can notice some movement in the back of your body, in the shoulder blades. Just slowing the movement down, allowing the inhale to lift the arms and the exhale to bring the arms down towards your hips. Just fully being here with this movement, full breath in, reaching up. And then the next time that you reach up towards the sky, towards the ceiling, just keep the hands there. Let the shoulders fall heavy. And then as if you were reaching towards the sky, drawing the shoulder blades away, lifting up through the outer edges of the arm bones, and then plunk the shoulders back down. Let them fall heavy. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky. And exhale, just let the shoulders fall down. So a pretty small movement. Notice you're not arching or doing too much movement through the center and the core of the body. It's just allowing this to come from your arms and shoulders. And then the next time that you come down with the shoulders, bend at the elbows and make a cactus shape. And then inhale, reach up. And exhale, draw them down. Just a few like this. And then the next time the elbows are down at your side and you're in that cactus shape, can you allow your hands to fall behind you? They may sort of hover or float above the floor. So can you find a place, maybe it's a wider kind of W shape, the elbows are still bent, maybe the elbows really come down in towards your body where you're open and the hands and the elbows can relax down onto the floor. Just take a breath into the chest. And then again, reach your arms up towards the sky. Grab for opposite elbows here. And just start to reach elbow from side to side. And feeling a stretch to the back of the arm, the outer edge of the shoulder blade. And then if you'd like, you can bring the feet into this. So step the feet wide, allow the knees to fall in the opposite direction of where your elbows are going. And just kind of imagining that you're kind of wringing everything out from the top of the spine to the bottom of the spine. You can even alternate your gaze from side to side. Just moving through the head and neck a little bit. Nice, then come on up and just let that relax down. Just take a moment just to pause, take a full breath in, just notice and let everything settle. And breathing out. Okay, so finding about if you have already, I'm sure, hip distance with your feet. Allow your right knee to start to fall out to the side. So you're going to roll to the outer edge of your foot and then extend your leg long all the way down towards the end of your mat. Your foot's going to be pointed out to the right. You're sort of in this external rotation. And then slide the heel back towards you, knees still out to the side, and then lift that knee up. Let the knee fall out. Slide the leg down. So can this movement be really slow? Just like an exploration here. Where does it feel like it moves really smoothly? Notice if there's any kind of like catching or clicking in the hip. Kind of inviting some softening to the hip flexors and the psoas muscle. Just release some of the effort, maybe even about 20%, and just allow it to be really slow. Notice if your mind's wandering away from the movement, just bring it back. Nice, and then just plant through that foot again. The next time you come to lift, let your pelvis relax. Just observe any of the sensation from the right to the left. What about the weight in the pelvis? Or even the weight in the feet? Has anything shifted there? And then we'll do that on the left side. So slowly just allow your left knee to fall out. And then just extend the leg all the way down to the short edge of your mat. Slide the heel back towards you as that knee's out to the side. And then lift it back up towards the sky. Maybe just slow it down just a little bit if you notice you're speeding the movement up, so you can just witness kind of some of those really subtle shifts in effort, kind of smooth movement, where it feels like it's gliding, or is there any catching? Staying relaxed through the shoulders and jaw, and the breath. And just a few more, nice and slow. And the last one here, just finishing off where you are, bringing the knee back up. And just letting that rest, noticing any of the sensation. Take a full breath deep into the soft parts of the belly. And a nice soft exhale here. And then roll over to your side, come on up. Oh, there was something I wanted to do before we came up. Come back down. All right, hopefully you didn't move too far there. All right, so you're gonna actually have your soles of your feet together and your knees wide for a moment. And hug the heels up as close as you can. That feels comfortable. Your spine's still long, the knees relaxed here. And then see if you can find a little bit of movement to your pelvis. Your knees may lift and lower a bit. Maybe there's just some tension there. Can we try to keep this into just moving the pelvis? Imagine that you had like a rolling pin across the two hip bones and you were rolling it forward and rolling it back towards you. Okay, the next time you roll it towards you, pressing the low back slightly down and towards the floor, press the soles of your feet together. Arms down at your side, so there's a little bit of activation here. So you're kind of like a sense of tucking the tailbone, outer edges of the feet pressing down and the soles of your feet pressing together. And you might start to feel the inner thighs working, the outer edges of your hips. Relax the chest. Take a full breath in here. And then on your exhale, can you lift your hips up as you press down into the feet? Knees stay wide here. And then slowly roll your spine back down towards the floor. And let everything just relax. Then again, that sense of tucking the tailbone, press into the soles of the feet towards each other, down and towards the floor, and then lift your hips up. And lower the hips back down. So move through that a few times. Notice the knees might have this tendency to kind of draw in towards each other. Can you feel the outer edges of the glutes and the bum muscles working to kind of hold the legs and support the legs wide as you lift up here? And really pressing the soles of the feet together and the outer edges down. Let yourself completely relax when you come down to the floor. Kind of finding this place between the effort, what needs to work and engage to lift you here, stabilize you here, and then how those muscles can also just soften and release. And just doing one more of those. And coming down. Let your knees relax. Take a full breath in here. Nice. Then we'll bring knees together. Now we'll roll to the side and come on up. Okay, so stepping your legs wide here. So this is where I mentioned at the beginning, if you feel like you need just a little bit of elevation to your hips so that you're not feeling like you're rolling back, that's a good idea. You can also just kind of have a little mini bend to your knees, or even just feel free to like support yourself with your hands behind you. Okay, so extending through, have the feet active so they're up, toes are pointed up towards the sky. And then starting to, just with your right leg, you're going to start to roll the leg inward and outward. So internal and external rotation. Can this movement happen from your hip versus just kind of waving your foot from side to side? So you may notice that you have more mobility there if you lean back into your hands versus sitting up. So just explore what feels available to you. And then doing that on your other side. And then both together, rolling them in and out. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to keep the feet as they are, the legs as they are, and they can still have this little bit of a bend, but we're going to bring the upper body into this. So start to just lift, or let's lean back into the right hand. Left hand's going to come in front of you. You're going to roll both legs over towards the right and reach with your left arm. So you're going to have an internal rotation with your left leg and external rotation with your right. And reach, and then just take that to the other side and switch. So the side that you're reaching away from, so when you reach with your right hand, your right hip may lift a little off the floor. That's okay. So just moving from side to side, exploring internal, external rotation, points of contact, maybe through the sit bones. You can continue with this movement, or if you'd like to try, when you're reaching, press down into that hand behind you and lift the hips up. So you're actually going to press into the inner edge and the outer edge of your feet and then come back down. Roll everything to your other side and lift here. And even if this is not a lift that's happening for you, but more of just trying to find the muscles that would work to lift you here. So kind of an awkward movement. Just might take a moment for the brain to figure out what's happening. Doesn't have to be a large lift. The reach and the rotation can again be as large as you'd like it to be. It can be really open and extending through the whole upper body, if that feels good. But more just focusing on this rotation of the hips, and the hips to stabilize in that rotation to lift you. Might start to move all over the floor here. Nice, and then just finish that off. Extend the legs out again, just rotating them in and out to internal, external rotation. Nice, and then bend the knees and bring the legs out in front of you. So with the legs out in front of you, move the seat out a little bit so you're really sitting on that sit bone. Have a little bit of a bend to your knees, and then toes can reach up. Find a nice tall long spine here. And then as you exhale, we're gonna round the spine and lengthen the legs. And then inhale, the knees come up and the spine starts to arch back or moves to just a nice length, and then extend and round here. So can you find those two sit bones? And can you just feel yourself kind of rocking on the back end of them and then coming to the front end of them as you bring your belly towards your thighs? May feel like a cat and cow type movements with the neck and the shoulders. Might get involved a little bit here. The hip flexors are also working in the abdominal region, so lots happening. So if you are starting to feel any tension there, you can always just kind of wiggle it out. Sometimes it even just takes a second to do that and feel a little bit better. All right, and then when you're ready, extend the legs straight out in front of you. And if you need to lean back into the hands to find a long spine, then do so. And then just slowly start to walk the hands towards you. And then rotating from the feet, just like we were, bring the toes together, bring the toes apart. So the internal, external rotation, you can kind of wave the feet. Nice, then draw your right knee in towards you. Planting down into that foot and sitting up nice and tall here. And then reach your right arm up towards the sky, sitting up nice and tall. Left leg can be entirely straight or even that little bit of a bend, whatever gives you a little bit more support to find length to your spine. Start to rotate to that right knee, the bent knee. Bring the right hand behind you. Maybe grab onto that knee with your left hand, moving into a twist, sitting up nice and tall and turning into a twist. And then rotating back towards center. Step that foot over your leg if that feels available. Just give it a nice hug in as you sit up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders. Grab that knee with your right elbow and hand and rotate to the opposite direction. And then come on up through center. Extend that leg back out in front of you. Just give the legs a little tap, a little wiggle wiggle. And then up nice and tall, left knee bends. Just keep it beside the leg, hugging it in here. Right arm's gonna reach towards that. Left arm towards the sky. So sitting up nice and tall, root down through the seat and through that left foot. Bring the left hand behind you, turning to rotate towards your left side. Nice, full breath in, reaching up. And then exhale as you unwind from that. We'll come forward, footsteps over, and then head in that direction just for a rotation in the opposite direction. Nice, and then release. Bring the feet out to the side, so kind of like that mermaid type of sitting, or 90-90. So we're just gonna sit here in that, so your heels are off to the back, so that back hip, can we just lift the hip a little bit, just from that folding and hinging at the hip, just to open the back hip up. So lift it forward like you were opening the space there. You can reach and turn into a rotation. And if you are reaching, can you reach a little further and bring the hands down around so that you are in a twist here. You may even come to the elbows. Just take a breath here. Come on up. Hopefully the feet are wide, so you can just lift the knees up and come right to your other side. And same thing, just lifting that back hip, letting it sink down, lifting it up, and sinking down. So just a little opening there. Feel free to bring the rotation into that. And then if you're reaching, reach a little further, bring the hands down. Maybe you're up on the fingertips or down onto your elbows. Take a breath here. And then come on up. Knees back up towards center. And then either sitting in this position, if that's comfortable for you, coming to cross-legged, legs out in front of you, legs wide, sitting on your shins. Just take a moment to just kind of find a tall spine here. And we'll just inhale, roll shoulders up towards ears, and exhale them back down. Just a few times here. Full breath in, and exhale them back. Nice. Bring the arms forward just like we did when we were on the back, up overhead, and then exhale them down to your side, just like we did when you were laying down, reaching forward, up, and exhale, reaching back behind you, just opening the chest one more time like that. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, hands come down. Beautiful. Reaching the fingertips out to your side, drop one ear to one shoulder, maybe chin to the sky. And drop the chin to your chest and go to your other side. The palms are facing down towards the floor. Drop your chin down towards your chest. Turn the palms up towards the sky. Reaching through, lift them away from the floor. Kind of like you're reaching your pinky side a little more towards the sky. And then inhale all the way up tall as your head comes up and the arms come up. And then exhale, hands come together at your heart center. Just take a moment to breathe through the length of your spine. And perhaps if there's any intention that you'd like to welcome into your day as you move into your next moment, inhale that deeply and exhaling fully. Thank you so much for sharing your practice, and I miss you all so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a beautiful, nice, warm day. All right, take care, guys.